Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Bashem Rakak Wadash. My name is Yakalba from Plaintables Camp in Philly. Now, before, Babylon, America was founded, there was already a perverse spirit amongst the Edomites. That's a part of their character. That's an attribute of Esau. All right. So when I bring that scripture out, the perverse spirit is there, but that's a part of their identity. It isn't something that just started to happen. All right. Now, let me read this first. This is the Edomites or Babylon, America's under the Queen of Heaven spirit. All right, and something along those lines. I name it. It says Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, all right. Now, the verse is singling out Israel, but this is really all of America, really the world, but the Western world, mainly. But it says, as for my people, and that includes North, Central, South America, and Europe, and Russia, and Australia, all those westernized countries. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. All right. So women rule over them. Just to put an emphasis on the word, we got mashal, rule. Women rule. And we should already know by now that women are not supposed to have dominion over men. To rule, to have dominion. Goes back to what? Genesis 3rd chapter? Matter of fact, rule, that should be the same word. Should we go straight down? It should go Genesis 3. Right? Yep. Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman you said, I will greatly multiply the sorrow of thy conception. And sorrow shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So this is just stating a fact. All right? Stating a fact. It's not something that was just instituted during this time period. It was just stating a fact. All right. It was always the men are to rule over the women, meaning give them direction. All right. They follow your direction, then they're under your protection. All right, you don't follow directions, you ain't under the protection. As simple as that. So, the video I have here is Los Angeles District Attorney under fire for disturbing audio leaked from violent sex offender. Well, yeah, but the main thing is that he only got 2 years. All right. Not that he was gloating about it. He only got 2 years. I hope someone do a damn commercial.
Fox News obtained.
All right, good. All right, let me let the video play.
Shocking audio of a sex offender's crude remarks about the victim in a case that has brought criticism of progressive Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon. Bill Malugin is live in Los Angeles with the latest for us. Hi, Bill.
Yeah, Dana, good morning to you. So LADA George Gascon has taken a lot of heat when it comes to this case. It has to do with a 26-year-old transgender child molester who was sentenced to only 2 years in a juvenile facility because George Gascon just refused to prosecute.
All right, so that means this is a man that, I don't know if he went through surgery, but this is a man. Well, there you go right there. I don't think he went through surgery. Well, I don't know. Well, the trend is now to be a trans and still look like the same thing that you are. Partially. Or identify as a woman but look like a man, or identify as a man, look like a woman. I've been seeing that lately also. So let's let that play.
Her as an adult. So take a look. This is 20 transgender child molester who was sentenced to only 2 years in a juvenile facility because George Gascon just refused to prosecute her as an adult. So take a look. This is 26-year-old Hannah Tubbs, who was recently convicted of sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl inside of a Denny's bathroom in LA County back in 2014. Now, at the time, Tubbs' first name was James, and she was 2 weeks from her 18th birthday. CCTV showed Tubbs going into that Denny's bathroom and then fleeing the scene after the assault, but she wasn't connected to that sexual assault until she was arrested for another crime in 2019. And prosecutors say she began identifying as female after she was taken into custody. And despite having multiple
Okay, so it looked like he just switching up. Okay. So, okay, I didn't watch the video, so this is just total bullshit then. So he just switched up so he can get a light prison sentence. Somebody probably told him to do that, so either way.
violent crimes on her record already, Gascon refused to prosecute Tubbs as an adult. And last month, a judge sentenced her to serve 2 years in a juvie facility at age 26, and she also will not have to register as a sex offender. Now, I've obtained some of Tubbs' phone calls from law enforcement sources from when she was in custody in LA County here in November. This was before her sentencing. In a phone call with her dad, she just glowed.
So they keep referring to him as a she. All right. So and then they're all they're talking shit about him gloating. That's not even the point. Him gloating. Come on.
It's that she's not going to serve any prison time, and that she.
Okay. All right. So you get the point. All right. I don't give a damn about the devil gloating. That he got the opportunity to change his identity, his sexual identity or gender identity, just so he could get a shorter sentence, and no criminal record, and he's serving in a juvenile detention facility, I guess they call it. All right, and he was able to do that because he started to identify as a woman. So, what did we learn? That America Babylon is under the spirit of a woman. All right, see how light the women are disproportionately they have lighter sentences when it comes to the equal crimes that men commit. All right, this is Isaiah 24:5. The earth also was defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Yeah, we did that. However, Esau, he broke the laws also. All right, because the laws, they were given to us, but many of the laws are fundamental. So even if other nations break these laws, it's going to cause chaos on the earth. It's going to cause perversion and amoral behavior. The morals that are based upon the laws. All right, and the earth will degrade farther, even if the other nations don't keep the laws. All right, so it's bad all the way around. This is why when the kingdom is established, the whole world, all the peoples on the earth are going to keep the laws, because if they don't, it's going to destroy the earth. All right, then we have to destroy them to preserve the beauty of the earth. All right, 19. It says, Isaiah 19:14, Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. We had 8 minutes. And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Again, like I mentioned in the beginning, the people have always been perverse. All right, it's just progressively getting worse and worse. All right, now you can change your identity. I heard somebody say that. You say people want to start changing their, I think TS said it, changing their identity so they could get the privileges of women. All right, the Lord have made a perverse. I believe it means like crooked or something like that, right? Off the path, or adulterate. Well, adultery means to change to alter something, to alter the natural use or path. It says, I am. Use your best pronunciation for that. Distorting, perverting, warping. All right, and in this case, warping the your gender. Distorting. Warp judgment. There you go. All right, because women get lighter sentences for the same crime. All right. And he's using that. He started to identify as a woman. So he just saved his life. He refused to prosecute him as an adult, all right, which they love to do for certain crimes. And he's only getting 2 years. And when he get out, that's sick. He's going to go right back to being a man again. We'll roll the video again. Jeremiah 7:18, the children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings into other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. So one of the gods they were worshiping was the queen of heaven. We look up queen, we got Malaka, root word is king. You go down to here, it doesn't give you much information, but it just tells you that this was the queen of heaven was worshipped as a god. A queen, it only occurs in Jeremiah 7:18, 44, and 19. In which passages the queen of heaven, parentheses, to whom the woman of Israel paid divine honors. All right, and it's associated with the moon, Astar, and the planet Venus. So this is a deity worshipped, a false god. All right, the worship of heaven, but it's the queen of heaven. All right, and then the Catholics openly worship the queen of heaven, and they associate the queen of heaven with Mary. So if the Son, the Lord, was the king, so his mother had to be divine. That's one of the trains of thought that they use. But where's the king? Where's the father? All right. I guess that's supposed to be God there, and I guess that's supposed to be Jesus. And they're putting a crown on the mother of God, and then you have naked babies. These are supposed to be angels or cherubs. All right. Well, this is a demonic Renaissance art picture. Well, it tells you here, coronation of the Virgin Diego Velázquez. All right, this is what he lived in Spain. That's probably the 1500s, probably. 15 and 1600s, 1660. All right. So it says. As a title given to Virgin Mary by Christians, mainly the Catholic Church, and to the lesser extent Anglicanism. Catholic teachings on this subject is expressed in the papal. All right, it states that Mary is called Queen of Heaven because her son, Jesus Christ, is the King of Israel and the heavenly King of the universe. Indeed, So this damn paradox. Who came first? So you get that. All right. The Catholics worship her. This is not Mary. Mary was a black woman, or is a black woman. All right. To provoke the Lord to anger. Let's play that video one more time. We'll let it play all the way through.
Won't have to register as a sex offender. 2000 convicted guests do.
To turn Fox News obtaining shocking audio of a sex offender's crude remarks about the victim in a case that has brought criticism of progressive Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon. Bill Melusian is live in Los Angeles with the latest for us. Hi, Bill.
Yeah, Dana, good morning to you. So LA DA George Gascon has taken a lot of heat when it comes to this case. It has to do with a 26-year-old transgender child molester who was sentenced to only 2 years in a juvenile facility because George Gascon just refused to prosecute her as an adult. So take a look. This is 26-year-old Hannah Tubbs, who was recently convicted of sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl inside of a Denny's bathroom in LA County back in 2014. Now, at the time, Tubbs' first name was James, and she was 2 weeks from her 18th birthday. CCTV showed Tubbs going into that Denny's bathroom and then fleeing the scene after the assault, but she wasn't connected to that sexual assault until she was arrested for another crime in 2019, and prosecutors say she began identifying as female after she was taken into custody. And despite having multiple violent crimes on her record already, Gascon refused to prosecute Tubbs as an adult. And last month, a judge sentenced her to serve 2 years in a juvie facility at age 26, and she also will not have to register as a sex offender. Now, I've obtained some of Tubbs' phone calls from law enforcement sources from when she was in custody in LA County here in November. This was before her sentencing. In a phone call with her dad, she just gloats that she's not going to serve any prison time and that she won't have to register as a sex offender. Take a listen.
Don't worry about it. It's a strike, but they're going to plead. I'm going to plead out to it. I'm going to plead guilty. They're going to stick me on probation, and it's going to be dropped. It's going to be done. I won't have to register. I won't have to nothing.
For an offender, you don't have to register?
I won't have to do none of that.
So what are they going to do to you then?
Nothing.
Now, in those calls, Tubbs also went on to make some extremely crude, disparaging remarks about her 10-year-old victim, openly discussing her sexual attraction for her and laughing about it. So crude, we've decided not to air that audio. She also went on to say she would flee the country if she got in trouble again. So I reached out to DA George Gascon's office about these phone calls last week. His team told me they didn't even know about the calls until I contacted them, and Gascon has now released a statement which says in part, quote, "After Tubbs' sentencing in our case, I became aware of extremely troubling statements she made about her case, the resolution of it, and the young girl that she harmed. If we knew about her disregard for the harm she caused, we would have handled this case differently." And now, for the very first time, the victim in this case, now age 18, is speaking out about Tubbs' 2-year juvie sentence. We're obviously not identifying her, but she tells Fox News exclusively, in part, quote, "The things he did to me and made me do that day were beyond horrible for a 10-year-old girl to have to go through. That man was very clear-minded and old enough to know what he did that day was wrong and still did it anyway. It's something I struggle with, and it's insulting that this is all he was given as punishment, and I want something done about it." Tubbs will now be serving out her 2-year sentence in a juvenile detention facility where she's going to be housed with other juvies at age 26. As for DA George Gascon, he is now backtracking on his zero-tolerance policy of never trying juvies as adults, recently announcing he will now consider doing so in the most extreme of circumstances. Dana, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Bill. A disturbing but very important story. Thank you.
There you go. There you go. This is so he was able to get away with that, and I'll just add one more scripture here. This is 'cause women are not supposed to be worshipped. They had their duties. I think it's 14. 30 something. All right, it says 1 Corinthians 14. All right. "Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience." All right, but they be under obedience, but to be under obedience, as also saith the law. "If they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church." All right. So there was given no authority or rule or dominion for women to be over men. All right. And that includes Yahushai's mother. All right. She was blessed. All right. And she was special, but she was not to be worshipped as a deity, as a god. All right, we got to pray to Yahushai, not to the Lord's mother. All right, she's not a queen. A queen is a negative word. All right, so I'll leave that there. This is a false image. All right. So I'll leave that there. Hope you were edified. Shalom.